that Immanuel Kant, in his famous essay, Perpetual Peace, predicted that if the government of more and more countries became what he called republican, by which he meant really representative democracies of some kind, that this would result in a growth of peace because democratic governments would be reluctant to go to war with one another. That it was much easier for a government that was entirely controlled by one individual or a small aristocratic group or an oligarchy of some kind to decide to go to war, thus placing the lives of all of their citizens at risk, was much easier for an autocracy to make a decision to go to war than for a democracy which depends on the will of the people. And by and large, although at the time that he wrote, I think there was only one government, namely the Swiss, that satisfied his condition of being republican. Since then, as democracies have become more and more common in the world, his prediction has been borne out. There have been many wars, but they have all involved at least one party that was not a democracy. The democracies have been engaged in many of these wars, but never against one another. Now, perhaps there are some exceptions to this, but it is an interesting fact and a remarkable tribute to Immanuel Kant's insight that history seems to have borne him out. The reason for this is that if the decision to go to war has to pass democratic approval, it brings into play the evident direct interest that the people who are the populations of these governments have in avoiding conflict and in finding, even if there are, avoiding violent conflict and finding, even if there are differences between the nations involved, some method of accommodation or compromise.